facing our community. Being a physician-owned network means that we're not just healthcare providers. We're your neighbors, your friends, and your partners in health. With strong ties to local communities, we're able to offer personalized care that truly understands your needs. When you choose Piedmont Healthcare, you're not just choosing healthcare, you're choosing to be part of a community that cares. If you're ready to experience the difference for yourself, call our new patient hotline at 833-PHC for you. That's 833-742-4968. Or you can just request an appointment online, phcappointments.com.
Real Country is 550 AM WAME, 92.9 W225BD, Statesville.
Live from the Randy Marion Studios on Signal Hill in Statesville, this is the Sports Recap Show with Brian Suarez, Harry Nostrand, and Mark Covert.
And a good Tuesday evening out there in Radioland. Welcome to the Sports Recap Show here on 92.9 WAME. Brought to you by our Eastern Conference champs at the Charlotte Checkers. Woohoo! Calder Cup bound.
We want the cup.
That's right. It's been, well, this will make 6 years. If the Checkers can pull it off, it is returning to the Queen City.
However, in those 6 years, it's only been contested 4 times.
Yep.
So if they win it, in the last 4 times it's been contested, they'll have won it twice.
How about that?
And we're going to talk about that today. We'll get TJ on the line here after a while.
That's
and talk
right.
a little bit about the upcoming Calder Cup playoff.
That's right. But yes, our show brought to you by our friends at the Charlotte Checkers. I am Harry, the Menu Nostrand, joined by my good buddies and cohorts, Brian, the Professor Suarez, the rookie, Mark Covert.
What it do, BD?
And on the board, our trusty engineer.
You got to hold that one in this week, bud. Got to hold that one in this week.
Yeah, my bad.
It's Bryson Davis.
Excuse me.
He's the commander.
Excuse me. Sorry.
A low rumble.
Yeah, and if
Slipped out.
if you're watching and you notice we're a little slim on the table, it's because Big Steve, Big Steve is not on the show. As he is sailing the high seas on a carnival ship, and we'll have to explain to him the joke, but displacing some water.
That's what I was going to say. He's displacing water. Remember, I think we've had a large discussion of that.
Oh, why is that a large discussion?
About that?
Had to be a large discussion.
Well,
It
it
was
kind
a
of has to
large
be to
discussion.
displace
Yes, it
anything.
was.
So Steve is out this week, enjoying some time on the high seas, but we will carry on with your regional, national, local sports headlines. But before we get into that, as always, we will start with birthdays, trivia, and interesting facts.
All right. Only one birthday. Surprisingly, in today, there was hardly any birthdays. Only
Sammy
one
Sosa.
of note,
Sammy Sosa.
Dan Fouts.
Oh,
I tried.
QB Dan
great.
Fouts.
Happy birthday. How old?
I don't know. I didn't write the year down.
Harry, who do you play for?
I couldn't tell you.
San Diego Chargers.
I couldn't remember. I thought it was Oakland, but
An extinct team.
yeah.
You know what I was thinking about too?
So is the Oakland Raiders.
Where'd he go to college? Oregon.
Yeah.
I believe
Yes,
he
he
went to
did.
Oregon.
Yes, he did actually.
Right?
Yeah, pretty sure, right?
Yeah,
I
maybe
think,
it was.
I think
Let's
that
find
is
out.
correct.
Is that or Oregon State?
This is an odd school, but I think it was Oregon.
Well, let's see.
Yep.
Oregon, right?
Yep.
Well, Mark, since you got it pulled up, how old is he?
Now
70.
74.
74.
Inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1993. Greatest quarterback in Chargers history.
Maybe the greatest quarterback in Oregon history, also.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm just gonna
You
scoff.
laugh. You laugh a lot.
I'm gonna scoff at that.
You laugh a lot. Like they don't have a Heisman Trophy winner in there as well.
I'm gonna say Phillip Rivers is the best quarterback the Chargers have ever had.
No, I didn't say the Chargers.
Did he? Didn't?
Oh,
yeah.
I did.
Oh,
He
you
did.
said it.
He said Chargers.
Yeah,
I
you said Oregon. Yeah.
Arguably,
You could potentially say that with Oregon.
they won the same amount of rings.
Fair.
saying.
Yeah,
Alright.
Oregon. I mean, yeah, they had some good ones too. Marcus Mariota.
Marcus, yeah.
Justin Herbert, current
Justin
Chargers
Herbert,
Justin
quarterback.
Herbert. That's true, too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, hey.
There was
Ready?
also
Ready?
a guy.
Dennis Dixon.
That's so weird you said that.
Man,
Because I was going back to the
Dennis
Michael James era, and I was like, Dennis Dixon.
No, that was after.
No, it was about the
No,
same
no,
time.
no. Michael James was after.
Yo,
that.
yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I was backing up.
Because they had what was it, Masoli or whatever it was at
Mhm.
that point, running back that was there when Dennis Dixon was there. was Jonathan Stewart,
Jonathan Stewart.
who I saw over the weekend
Where?
in a very different
At a
uniform.
Bananas.
Bananas game.
Yes, he was. He was a pinch runner.
I
How about
think I
that?
saw the red rifle there too.
That was Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So actually a little bit of history today, and then we'll go into our trivia question. So on this day in 1944, Joe Nuxhall became the youngest Major League Baseball player ever for the Cincinnati Reds at 15 years, 316 days. Appeared in a couple games, and then went on to be an all-star, and then he was a broadcaster for the Reds.
Nice.
All right, here's the trivia question, boys.
Hit it.
Who is the youngest player in NBA history?
Okay, so naturally, I want to say it's Kobe Bryant.
Is that your final answer,
Yeah, I think it's my final answer, but I don't think that's actually it. But I think that's
Mark?
if he doesn't get it, give me a second guess.
I almost want to say either Kevin Garnett
That's
or
what I'm
Amari
thinking.
Stoudemire.
I'm thinking it's Kevin Garnett.
I have the top three listed, and neither of Mark's choices is in the top three. And
My-
Harry?
I got it, didn't I?
Nope. Yours is number 3.
Yeah. Is LeBron? Okay, so LeBron's in there, top 3.
Nope.
What?
Dwight Howard.
Nope.
The kid Sebastian Telfair.
Nope.
Who else came out of high school? Has it been?
Perkins? Kendrick Perkins?
Nope.
No.
Came out of high school.
Alonzo Mourning didn't come out of high school, did he?
No.
Nope.
Where'd
I
he
feel
go?
like you're gonna have to go a long ways back for this.
No, because
Actually, no. Well, what do you consider a long ways back?
Well, the only
Was
reason
it
I say
before
that,
or
Give me a
after
number of years.
1990?
Do what?
Was it before or after 1990?
after.
see, I saw a baseball stat today.
Was
Yeah,
it
Joe
after?
Nuxhall, that's
Was
what
it
I said.
after?
Yeah.
Was it
Yeah. Oh,
after
yeah, yeah, yeah.
2000?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. It was.
Okay. Well,
It's not LeBron. He's not even the top 3.
it said Stoudemire, Howard, KG, but KG was in the league before 2000, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Late 90s. Wow. Did this guy actually
He's got this poo-eating grin on his
Did
face.
this guy
too.
actually Yeah, well,
It's not a trick question.
let's say this guy actually play in the NBA?
Yes, he did. All right, I'll give you number 2.
Is it one
So-
of the,
Go ahead.
wait. Is it one of the ball kids?
No.
No, they all went to college.
All right, so here we go. Listen, Kobe Bryant
Well,
was number 3 at 18 years, 72 days, made his debut on November 3rd of 1996 for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Mhm.
Number 2, Jermaine O'Neal.
That's why I was
18
thinking of when you said
years,
Garnett.
53 days, made his debut on December 5th, 1996 for the Portland Trailblazers. And I will tell you this. The person who's number 1 made his debut on November 2nd of 2005 for the Los Angeles Lakers.
so it was the 05 draft.
18 years and 6 days.
Who was drafted?
It w-
Oh my god!
out of high school? No, wait, hold on. European ball.
No.
That's no. I don't know. I give up.
I want to. I mean, I'm trying to think who got drafted in 05 for the Lakers.
That's great.
I'm
Pick
like
one.
Jordan Farmar. I don't know.
Andrew Bynum.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Very forgettable player.
yeah.
No.
I did kind of
No, he's not. He's the youngest player in NBA history.
Yeah, very forgettable. Very forgettable.
for now until the high school kids start coming again.
To the sands of time.
Yeah, so you got to, okay, so just real quick, you got to think back earlier than that, like you were asking.
Mhm.
Those guys all went to college. And like back in the way early, like the 70s and the 80s, they basically went for 4 years,
Yeah.
right? So they're out. and
Well, that's why
then-
there was a very specific window.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
and that's why when he said Kevin Garnett, that's who I also thought Kevin Garnett, but it's because I was thinking of a big guy. I knew Jermaine O'Neal was in that mix, but I didn't think of him. I was thinking of KG, but that was like the same player practically.
See, I would almost go back and say, if you look, Andrew Bynum, when he got drafted, was only 17. Think about it. And that's why Kevin Garnett might not be the answer, because when he got drafted, he might have already been 18.
Yeah.
And then till the season started,
Hmm.
he was.
I knew
he was-
I knew Kobe was young.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. So I have a couple general topics.
Well,
One of
I
them.
have a trivia.
Oh,
usually
okay.
ask.
I'm
You
sorry.
usually
Go
ask.
ahead.
You
I've
didn't
got
even
one
ask.
too.
I'm
but I mean,
sorry.
hey,
All right,
Oh,
all right. Go
gosh.
ahead.
Stepping on toes here.
We'll keep this one really simple.
No,
Guys, of the For the four major leagues, which team has the lowest winning percentage all time in each league?
We
In
watched
each
the same
league?
Instagram.
All right,
Each
so
league.
for baseball,
NHL, MLB, NBA, NFL.
baseball, I want to say it's the Rays.
No.
No, baseball all time losers.
All time
Marlins.
lowest
No.
winning percentage.
It's either going to be
Marlins.
no.
it's going to be the Orioles.
no.
No?
The Marlins are at 29. The Orioles are at 26.
So we're
The
saying
A's.
32 is what we're trying
The
to go.
A's
right?
are at 19.
White Sox.
Hi. So we're trying to get to 32.
Yeah, the lowest win
Well,
percentage.
I mean, for two of those leagues, you're trying to get to 30.
We're talking baseball right now, though. Okay, so
No, we're talking baseball.
Yeah.
so yes,
Okay,
we need
so
the
30.
okay.
So it's-
White Sox,
No.
Diamondbacks,
No.
Indians.
No. That would still be the Guardians, by the way. The Guardians are 7th.
I already said the A's, right?
Yes.
You did.
They're 19th.
All right.
there
wait a
ain't
minute,
there
wait
ain't
a
no
minute.
way the Royals.
No.
No.
Rockies.
Yes.
Yep, well, there you go.
Rockies.
The Rockies are the losingest team in MLB history by winning percentage.
Well, they are proving that this year too.
So there we go.
All right. Next up, NFL.
NFL. This one's actually
I don't think it's that hard.
Cleveland.
No.
Jacksonville.
No.
The Jets.
Jacksonville's 31.
Damn, I was close.
Tampa.
Tampa.
Yep, I
They were dreadful when they first started.
yeah,
First season,
All right,
they didn't get
so
a win.
then we're on to the NBA, right?
NBA.
not the
Nets.
Lakers, not the Celtics.
Nets.
Correct. No.
I'm gonna go with the Clippers.
No. Clippers are 29.
See, I'm close to this.
Close, but no
The
cigar.
Grizzlies.
Kings.
The Grizzlies are 27. The Kings are 24.
I've gotten 27 and 29. I literally one off there.
By the way, the Rays are actually 16th for the Major League Baseball.
Really?
Yeah.
That's better than I thought.
Well, they haven't been around that long, and they had some pretty good years for a while. So
We're talking NBA again.
The Jazz.
Nope.
Is it
The
Magic.
Sacramento?
The Jazz. Shut up.
Sacramento.
The Jazz are actually number 6.
No, I said Kings. He said no.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, no.
I missed that.
Pelicans.
The Magic are 22nd.
Pelicans.
Charlotte.
No.
Pelicans.
No.
Should be Charlotte.
Pelicans are at 23. Charlotte's at 28.
No, I've gotten 29 and 28.
Timberwolves.
Bingo.
Wow. Dang. Really?
The Timberwolves.
All right, and then we're on to the NHL,
The
right?
Nets are 26, by the way.
Okay.
Yes.
NHL.
NHL.
I
No,
did-
no, sorry. Yes. NHL. Yep.
This one's tricky too. I mean, I'm gonna take a random guess here.
Go ahead.
Oh boy.
Okay, I got
Phoenix?
two.
This is for the math majors out there.
Phoenix?
No,
I got two that
because
I think,
Phoenix doesn't exist anymore. And Phoenix is now Salt Lake. is
Utah. or
I
whatever.
got
yes.
two that I'm gonna say that I think it's one of them.
Okay.
It's either gonna be
Is it the Kings?
it's either gonna be the Devils, who used to be the Kansas City Scouts, and then we're also the Colorado Avalanche Rockies
Okay.
before they came the Devils.
Okay. Or
And my other one is Buffalo.
No.
Good guess.
Neither,
Anaheim.
neither one of them two.
no. No. Think winning percentage.
Yeah. So okay, they haven't been around for a while, is what you're saying, and they've sucked since they've been around. Is that what you're essentially saying?
I'm saying they've sucked for at least the majority of their time as a team.
Winnipeg,
No.
Columbus.
No.
Am I close?
The Flames.
No.
Is this going to shock everybody when you say it?
I don't think so.
I was gonna say it's not Detroit.
I mean, you.
Mm.
No,
It's
I
not
don't
the
think so.
Bruins.
It's not going
It's
to
not.
be.
It's none of the original six.
It's not going to be the original 6.
Carolina.
Nope.
That would have been great.
They are
Oh.
26 though.
Well,
The Kings are 27.
Well, Hartford probably doesn't help Carolina
the
too much.
Devils are 30th.
Florida Panthers.
The Devils are 30th.
Devils are 30th.
Okay.
Florida
Oh,
is
the New York
17th.
Islanders.
No, they're 23rd.
Oh,
And the Jets are 21st, Harry.
okay. I mean, I'm
Even as their time as the Thrashers.
Included in there.
the Kraken.
Bingo.
I knew
Oh,
it had
that
to be a
makes
new
sense.
team. He
Yeah, that
said
makes
winning
sense.
percentage. It was
Yeah.
I
literally,
think winning percentage.
yeah.
Don't have to be around a long time to have the
Exactly.
worst.
That's what I'm saying. So they haven't been around long and they've stunk.
Yes.
Except because they were only good, their first year?
Or
If-
second. I think it was the second.
Yeah, they've
So
not
what's
been,
been
too hot.
3 now? 3 years?
Something
four?
like yeah.
I think it's
It
three.
just finished
It's
the
three.
third
Do you
season.
remember him saying when he started that question? Let's keep it simple.
Yeah.
Keep it
Let's
simple.
keep it simple.
All right.
10 minutes later. Hey,
Bryson, you said you had a trivia question.
name the 4 D1 colleges whose names are also a color. There
Syracuse.
are 4.
Yeah, Syracuse.
No. Syracuse is not a
orange.
color. Yeah, but not the mascot, the name of the college, the physical name.
Yes.
Oh, Brown. Okay,
Syracuse.
Brown University.
Brown.
oh,
I'm
I
sorry,
thought you were talking about the
Brown. Okay.
mascot.
No,
Brown?
no, not mascot.
Um,
Brown.
You've got one.
yeah, Brown. Yeah.
Red.
No. No.
Oh God.
Very
Cardinal. Cardinal. No.
You said D. Whoa, hang on.
These
pause.
are all
D1
the-
schools
these
that
are
that name is actually
4
a color.
D1 schools.
D. So
Cardinal.
Brown's in there, so it's got to be like
Stanford.
basketball.
Oh no, that's Stanford. I was thinking Cardinal. The Stanford
But that's
Cardinal.
their nickname, yeah.
Yeah. God, this is a good one.
Turquoise.
Not a nickname.
The Blue
Turquoise University.
Blue State University.
Blue Mountain State University.
Yes. Black Hole
Brown.
University. Gosh, I only got Brown.
Well, it's not purple. It's not an orange. I'm starting basic, and then we can start.
And
like,
then start
integrating. Yeah.
integrating to other colors. Is that what you're saying?
Blue.
I would say
no.
2 of
White Mountain
these-
The
University.
Bowling Green.
No.
White Mountain University.
No.
That's- that's
two
a
of these-
mountain.
2 of
So
these
it's
are very
literally
So wait, is it the only name in there?
yeah,
like
y-
Brown
Yeah,
University.
Brown University.
blank
Harry.
university.
So not like
Oh
Bowling Green,
my
like you said, where it's
God.
another
no,
word.
no, one word. And 2 of these are like
Oh,
very
Navy,
obvious.
Navy.
Navy is one of them.
Navy.
Yep.
Oh,
One of the obvious ones. No.
Ah,
There's another one. There's 2 more.
There you go.
You've got 2. You've
That's
got
really
Navy
good.
and Brown. You're looking for 2 more.
What a terrible combination.
Oh boy. Okay, so
Because I said Bowling Green. I'm like Green Bay.
is there these are it could be shades of colors too.
Boy, obviously you
That's a
said
color.
Navy.
No, I know.
How
but
many
so,
art classes did you take?
so
in
I'm saying
school?
like navy is a shade
It's
of
not
blue.
enough.
You got is there Mint University?
No.
Mint College. Dartmouth.
No.
Dartmouth Green.
No.
I think
Really?
y'all are thinking too hard. At least for one of these. One of these you're not going to get.
Is
One
it
of
in a
them-
major conference?
Yeah, these are all Division 1 schools. One of them is in a very major
Well,
conference.
what's D1? Like what's D1? What
Auburn. Auburn.
Auburn.
Auburn.
That's the one
There
you
we
should have
go.
got.
Auburn's a
Yeah.
color.
The other one
Yeah.
you're probably
Oh,
not
yeah.
going to get.
Oh yeah.
Probably not going to get the other one.
Who is it?
Siena. Up in New York.
Up in New York.
Yeah.
I got 3 of the 4. I'm pretty happy about it.
That's pretty
And
good.
and some of your answers are reasonably probably correct answers. That's just what I pulled.
That was a
from the
good
internet.
question, Bryson.
Auburn is a
That's a good one.
I saw that. Yeah, I found a new Instagram this week. It's been very entertaining. So
All right, send it to me, will you?
very useful on the show. Yeah.
No, there ain't nothing useful in this show except Brian sometimes.
Yeah,
Right.
right. Watch it. All right, so let's go on. We'll put some general sports questions. Mark actually added to this one, and I'm almost wanting to Mark table your part of this one until next week, so we can
Oh.
think a little more. Unless you want to do it this week.
Well, I mean,
I'll
there's
just say right now, I'm not a fan of the Savannah Bananas.
No,
so-
no, no. Wait a minute.
Really?
You see the part he added? Well, wait a minute. You see the part Mark added, right? What
What
rules
rules?
would make baseball
I'd have to do a little
better?
bit of research.
I
on
almost want to table that part, Mark.
Well, I could. It's
If you-
literally like list. So
I
here's
know,
what they do.
I know.
They go like down 9 rules that make their game different, and then that.
Well, Well, okay. Well, here's the thing. What I was going to ask you about it was you went to see him. I want your experience, and you tell me all about it. I've not seen him. My brother has seen him, and he told me a little bit about what he thought about it. So I might chime in a little bit. But you went Friday night. Tell us about your experience.
So you got to go in thinking of it as a show, right? Like it's entertainment.
It's like the Harlem Globetrotters.
Globetrotters.
Yes,
On a baseball field.
Although this is so cracked out that it makes the Globetrotters look tame. And I mean that in a good way.
So no one.
I
ever-
will tell you, Brian, and I could not stop thinking about you,
Brian.
because the baseball mind, the traditional baseball mind, would implode trying to watch this game.
Why I don't like it.
You're a curmudgeon. So it was an incredible experience. Like everything you hear about the Bananas, as far as like really wanting to give a show for the fans, incorporating the fans, is for the fans, 150,000%. I mean, they try to integrate the fans into the game or the entertainment as much as possible.
Can I interject a minute?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I know what you said about me. I would implode, but if I went, I knew what it's all about. It's more about the entertainment
Sure.
value. So I probably would be
Now,
okay with it.
now
right?
don't get it twisted. Baseball is played,
right.
right?
Right.
So I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like
Oh, yeah.
that's not played. It's just
Right.
you got to get used to certain things, like sitting in a football stadium and watching right field be something that would even make each stadium blush, and left field looking like it's a mile long. So you got to get used to stuff like that, obviously. But they're doing it. You know, you get your crowds in there, you get the entertainment value, and people get to see them at large capacities. It is very entertaining. I mean, there is equal parts stuff there for kids. There's equal parts stuff there for adults. There were some adult references and jokes made throughout the night. I promise you. I saw a dude get nailed in the head with a banana from the top deck. Yes.
America's past.
I'm telling you, most cracked out thing I've ever seen in my life. There was a person on stilts pitching, throwing gas, by the way, while Brantley Gilbert was singing around him and leading him out like it was his walkout song. Cracked out thing. So it was a lot of fun, but definitely go in with the mindset that you're not there to watch. I mean, you are there to watch a game, but it's more entertainment value.
Right.
You get the entertainment out of it. It's a good time. It's on a time limit. You have the game is 2 hours long. So as soon as they say like go, that clock, there is a timer that you see at all times running down. Is 2 hours long. Yeah, but it's a good time. I mean, it's incredible. Plus, they have their own signature things there, of course, outside of like merch and things like that.
Right.
They have banana beer, and it is beautiful. It's actually quite delicious. No, it's very good.
Is it like a
But
daiquiri tasting thing?
it's like a light beer. Okay, think like a.
Because I'm thinking
for
of
tho- for
99 bananas right
For those
now.
of us who are fluent in it, Bryson, you're not, and don't admit anything on radio.
got a
Yeah.
Bryson's like, what's a beer?
What is a bear?
The greatest discovery in life. once
That's
you
that
get to it.
stuff Daddy drinks.
That's devil's juice.
It's like think like a Blondale,
If you want Moosehead, Brian can hook you up.
and so can the
British
what-
Museum.
Anyway.
the museum, British Museum of History.
So it's
Um,
kind of like a light beer.
It's a light ale, but it's got hints of banana. It's very good.
What he's
Alright.
saying is it's fruity.
So,
And
do you want to cover your? Let's not cover your part about the rules.
Okay.
Let's wait until next
That's
week to
fine.
do a little bit of
that's fine.
research.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of cool. Like they're bringing this to the masses. I mean, obviously you were there with 75,000 people, right?
74 both nights.
And then the next night on Saturday, same thing.
Yep.
You know,
And they again, like integrating to the community
Yeah.
they're in. I
Yeah.
saw Greg Olson play first base, Luke Kuechly threw out the first pitch, and Jonathan Stewart was a pinch runner.
okay.
The next night, I think it was Adam Thielen and Andy Dalton.
Yeah, I
so
saw
like
Andy Dalton
really
there.
dropped down a lot,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
still, like a good time the whole way around. I will say we talk often enough about how different things are good for different sports,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
It gets especially kids interested in baseball. Like instantly, they are gravitating towards it. Now it's going to change vastly outside of the bananas.
Yeah.
Like you watch regular baseball, it's a very different game.
Right.
But you still have that attention there that, oh my gosh, this is what I was watching the other night, and
Right.
it gets them involved.
Right.
That's what they're also trying to do. Like
Yep.
get people invested in the game.
All right, let's move on. There was a big NCAA settlement with the courts this week. And now the NCAA, the schools will actually be able to pay the players $20.5 million per year. Then the other big thing is the scholarship limits have been replaced by roster limits. Now, some schools are adding additional scholarships and others are subtracting. Here's what I read. This does not affect NIL. You can still have NIL outside of the school paying you, but it has to
Right.
get approved. What y'all think about this?
It's just not illegal anymore. I mean, right?
But it's not under the table.
Yeah.
This is where it all started at, anyways.
Right.
Was
Right.
you know, oh gosh, we're not paying him any money. Slides $100 bill under the table.
Yeah.
We're not doing
All
that
right,
at
here-
all.
Here's the other crazy thing. So most of the schools are taking this model. So the back pay, the damages for back pay damages going to former athletes. There's a structure to how it gets paid out, and a lot of the schools are taking this structure for the $20.5 million. Surprising, football 75%.
Stunning.
Men's basketball is between 15 and 20%. Women's basketball is 5 to 10%, and then whatever's left over goes to the Olympic and non-revenue sports. Essentially, if you take
Yeah.
the 15 and the 5 for men's and women's basketball, you get 5% for everything else.
Damn.
I don't like that word non-revenue. Like I understand it, I get it, but you know.
Well, I'm sorry. If you do
it's a little demeaning.
if you're doing fencing, you're getting like 4 people there. You're
I
getting-
know, but like But I mean, those four people probably. But say like, what'd you say? It was football, men's basketball, women's basketball,
And then all the
everyone
rest.
else.
Yep.
So like, just had what's her face at Texas Tech. I'm sorry, that probably doesn't help. But
Najee Kennedy.
right, so she just made $1 million in NIL.
And she re-signed again for another $1 million.
So she's just like, oh yeah, by the way, here's like peanuts on the side if you want them. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I understand. You know, football moves the needle, and you know, basketball for a month out of the year also moves the needle.
So, but the crazy thing is, wouldn't you think that football would generate enough revenue that you could actually give some of this money to the other sports, like you were talking about, the non-revenue
And
or
some
Olympic
some
sports,
schools might
right?
because they're going to have that flexibility to do that.
Right.
This isn't like a set in stone thing. It's like football is
No,
always going to
no,
be
no, no.
75%.
No, the schools can decide this. This is
Correct.
what I saw is there were back pay awarded, and
Yep.
this is the way the money was doled out.
Because here's the other part of it is the booster thing still exists. As dirty and rotten and disgusting as the booster part of it is, because they should have no involvement in this.
They still will.
They still will.
Yep.
And maybe in a roundabout way that helps out some programs, right? So like you got the bigger schools, your Ohio States, your Alabamas, like the Texas, like all these schools that have these big boosters come in there, they donate money, they get these kids in. Football, maybe the athletic department goes like, hey, like maybe we can help boost some of our other athletics
That's
that
true.
way
Yeah.
and use revenue from that. Like so that's good.
Right.
That's good. I just again, it still kind of encompasses the idea of NILs and just paying collegiate athletes. It's not what it was originally supposed to be.
I agree.
So
yeah.
that's where I'm still. I'm not saying they can't get their money. Not saying that. The other thing that also troubles me with this is outside of Division One, because Division Two schools, what are you going to offer kids that monetarily? What are you going to offer them that they go to like a Division One school? Like I know they're all, and maybe that's why they're doing the roster size thing,
Right.
so that you can't just be like, well, I'm going there, I'm going there, I'm going there, and they can just keep throwing money at kids. Like there's a roster size, so maybe that helps. But even then, I don't know how that affects Division Two, Division Three,
Right.
and Division Three is worse off because they don't have athletic
They
scholarships.
don't have scholarships.
So they have academic ones, but there's
Right.
only so much academic money that can go around.
Right.
So what do you do at that point?
Well, we'll keep our eye on it. All right. Next up, Mark, I'll let you talk about this one. Aaron Rodgers says he's committed. He's all in as the Steelers quarterback.
Well, that's pretty good. Because
But
what's the alternative?
It's better than where we were a week ago.
We'll see.
For my own sanity, because the amount of times I've been asked this question since Friday afternoon. Well, no, Friday or Thursday? Was Thursday?
Just give us a quick
Friday?
answer. Your 30-second
Who was
commercial.
who was the quarterback for the Steelers last year?
Russell Wilson or
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields.
Okay. Now, if you were to look at that, and then you have Aaron Rodgers on the other side, would you say the Steelers have a better quarterback situation now?
Of course.
On paper.
Of course.
On paper, yes, I say they do.
And they won 10 games last year
Mm-hmm.
and the year before, and they did not have good quarterback play, right?
Agree.
And everyone's thing was, well, they don't have a quarterback. Well, now they have a quarterback,
And a bona fide number one receiver.
and I have heard nothing but the Steelers got worse. Okay, dude.
Wait, I'm sorry. Look,
There's so many things that are just common sense, and it's just like, look, I understand Aaron Rodgers brings some baggage with him. I get
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Him and Mike Tomlin have always had a relationship. That's like every single time the Steelers and Packers played, there was something between them. Even last year with the Jets. They have a relationship, and they seem to be on the same page with a lot of the same things. But it's just common sense. You wanted a quarterback. So now they got a quarterback. And now the Steelers aren't going to be as good as they were because they got this quarterback that's better than the ones they had
Yeah,
before. And that was
nah.
their issue.
I disagree.
makes no
with that.
sense.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
It's common
No.
sense. And like Harry said, if you're telling me I got to choose between George Pickens, really good receiver,
Yeah.
right? When he's good, when he's on, and he's not trying to punch people, or DK Metcalf, who are you taking?
give me the guy that could outrun everybody.
I'll take
Yeah,
DK
Metcalf.
Metcalf. Thank
Yeah,
you. So
yeah.
they got a better receiver now. They got a better quarterback.
They should be better.
They should be better.
All right. We're going to have to go to commercial break, but real quick, Manny Machado might be the next MLBer to 3,000 hits. Could he be the last?
Did we say this with Miggy?
Yeah, kind of.
So here we are again. To answer the question, no, because
No.
there's just
You don't think so?
no
No,
Nope.
guys will get 3,000 hits.
offense right now in the league.
Yeah, but it's all home runs or strikeouts.
Home run's a hit.
But you're not going to hit 3,000
No,
home
home
runs.
runs.
But that's the phase of the game right now. Guys are still getting hits. I mean, if you have a stat where it says, "Can a pitcher do this ever again?" I would say no. Chances of a pitcher doing this ever again are probably slimmer because the pitcher is disappearing
Yes.
essentially.
I
Hitting is going nowhere.
also hate to break it to you, but Otto Kemp, a rookie for the Phillies last night, got the first 3 hits of his career, and his average exit velo was 8 miles an hour. So calm down. 2
All right,
bunts.
I think he ends up. I don't think anybody else gets it after him. It'll be a long time. I think there's a
We'll
problem.
see.
All right, so we're going to take a commercial break, and then we're going to get TJ Shalott on the radio, on the phone, and we're going to talk about the Checkers and the Canucks coming up, and we'll talk a little bit about the Panthers and the Oilers, and then we'll let the boys talk about the Pacers and the Thunder.
With more than 20,000 students, Iredell Statesville schools rank among the 20 largest school districts in North Carolina. Our teachers represent a wealth of knowledge, with the average teacher in our district having 15 years of teaching experience. Iredell Statesville Schools' innovative approach blends a one-to-one technology initiative with collaborative best practices and a hands-on approach to learning. In addition to traditional school settings, the district provides a wide range of exciting educational opportunities through our choice programs, specifically designed for unique student needs. No matter your age, your background, or your personal goals, there's a place for you in the Iredell Statesville schools.
Ryan Scott's at Randy Marion Chevy in Statesville, and what are you doing now?
I tell you, we got the deals going on. Typical Randy Marion fashion. King of Price, 2024, brand new Chevrolet Malibu LT starting at $19,988. $19,988, brand new, not used. You come pick the color today. Randy Marion Chevrolet Statesville, right here on I-40. Look for the spinning car, folks, because that's where the deals are.
At Piedmont Healthcare, we believe in more than just treating patients. We're committed to understanding and addressing the unique needs facing our community. Being a physician-owned network means that we're not just healthcare providers. We're your neighbors, your friends, and your partners in health. With strong ties to local communities, we're able to offer personalized care that truly understands your needs. When you choose Piedmont Healthcare, you're not just choosing healthcare, you're choosing to be part of a community that cares. If you're ready to experience the difference for yourself, call our new patient hotline at 833-PHC for you. That's 833-742-4968. Or you can just request an appointment online, phcappointments.com.
If you're looking for powerful, durable lawnmowers, outdoor power equipment, and more, then you need to visit RC's Lawnmower Sales and Service. Friendly, knowledgeable staff can help you select the proper equipment regardless of your budget. RC services all of the brands it sells, as well as whatever equipment you currently have. Sales, service, parts, experience. RC's Lawnmower Sales and Service, 150 RC Farm Drive, Statesville.
This Father's Day, don't give Dad another mug that says #1 Dad. He knows he's #1. Now get him something worthy of his title. At Fort Dobbs Hardware, we've got Dad Case Knife. Sharp, reliable, and a little dangerous, just like him. Or go big with blades from Kershaw, Spyderco, and Microtech. Top it off with Carhartt and Ariat gear and boots. Tougher than a weekend honeydew list. Red Wing, Ariat, Timberland, and Twisted X. Fort Dobbs Hardware, sharp gifts for legendary dads.
Real Country is 550 AM WAME, 92.9 W225BD, Statesville.
Welcome back to the Sports Recap Show here on 92.9 WAME, home of your Charlotte Checkers. Mark the Rookie Covert, Brian the Professor Suarez, Bryce the Commander Davis, and back on his way from getting lost in the refrigerator, Harry the Menu Nostrand.
It was a bathroom break.
The fridge is not in the bathroom, sir. You
You
can't
go in the
fool us.
one on
The
the right
bathroom's
or
not
the
in
one
the
on the
fridge
left?
either.
They're unisex. I don't really care.
There you go. Well, anyways, guys, we do have a special guest. He's with us all the time, and he's going to be with us just a little bit longer because your Charlotte Checkers have made their way to the Calder Cup Finals.
And is he going to be doing a book signing tour soon?
He might be, given what we have recently heard about his media coverage and his travels and escapades here in the last couple days. Joining us is the voice of your Charlotte Checkers, TJ Schlott. TJ, how we doing tonight, bud?
I'm doing awesome. And, to quote Bryson, what he said earlier here just off air, if we're still talking, that means the Checkers are still playing hockey. So that's fantastic.
Or it's preseason for the Eagles.
That's true.
Hey, look, I've got a Super Bowl winning team under my belt this year. I'm getting married later this year.
Hey.
I'd like to hoist the Calder Cup too. Like, can we round out this year
Heck yeah.
and maybe get a Florida Panthers victory as well in the Stanley Cup for back-to-back years? That
Four
would
rings.
honestly, that'd be the perfect year for me.
I was just say, TJ, I don't know if there could be a better year for you, my guy.
4 rings in a year,
Hey.
man.
All right. So,
Yeah, it would be fantastic.
hey, TJ, real quick before we get to the about this series with the Checkers and the Canucks, I gave you some homework when you were in Laval to figure something out for me about the Rocket. Did you ever figure that out?
He was there for 5 seconds.
Yeah, well, I was in Canada longer than I was in Pennsylvania. I'll tell you that. But no, I did not find out the answer because you know what? It was Canada and it was Montreal. And no offense, Brian, but I had better things to do.
All right.
Eat poutine.
No problem, but I did. It was easy to figure it
Eat
out.
poutine and
If you
drink
go look at
Molson.
Wikipedia, it's Rocket. Their team is named in honor of Maurice Rocket Richard,
The guy that picked the Charlotte Checkers name.
who was one of the greatest Canadian hockey players ever.
That is very true.
Wait.
And well, they're not playing hockey anymore.
That's right.
Wait, this
They're
guy
not.
actually picked the Charlotte Checkers name too?
Yeah, he did. He
Yeah.
picked. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Do you know that story? I don't.
I feel like we've talked about this on air.
If we did, I don't remember.
I've
but
never heard it. I don't
That'll be
think.
that'll be for another
Yeah.
time. That'll be for another
Yeah,
time.
we
got
we got a
business
lot
going
to
on
talk
right
about.
now.
That's right.
Right. So coming up this Friday night at 7:00, and then Sunday at 4 p.m. puck drop. The Checkers are in the Calder Cup finals for the second time in the last 6 years. However, in the last 6 years, the Calder Cup has only been contested 4 times. So give me some of your breakdowns and scouting on the Canucks and what you're expecting this weekend.
Well, the Charlotte Checkers had a little bit of time off to deal with some bumps and some bruises, which I think is great. I don't expect them to get any long-term injury guys back all of a sudden. I think there's a couple of guys that are minorly dinged up, a couple of sores, maybe a couple bruises here and there that could heal over the last week and a half, give or take, so they can be at their absolute best. Because even if the Checkers were to get some guys that were out long-term back into the lineup and able to play, I don't know that head coach Jordy Kier changes the chemistry that he has right now. They're firing on all cylinders, and it just seems like every move that he makes has been magical. So, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And I think that's kind of where they sit. When you look at Abbotsford, a lot of people asked me in the last round as we were sitting around waiting, is it going to be Texas? Is it going to be Abbotsford? Who do I want to see? I always told people to kind of pick your poison. You look at Texas, they have 4 of the top 10 goal scorers and point getters in the playoffs on that team. So that's an offensively powered team, and that means your defense is going to need to be top 10 as well just to battle it, and your goaltending has to be rock solid. And both of those departments have been rock solid so far in the postseason. On the other side for Abbotsford, they are a defensively minded team. They are led entirely out of their blue paint by Artur Shilovs. He is their starting goaltender. He is one of the best goaltenders in the postseason. He leads the league in save percentage, wins, and shutouts. So this is a guy that is really sets the tone, much like Capo Kakinen does for the Charlotte Checkers, but just a little bit stronger for Abbotsford. They're not a team that has a strong offensive attack. They have a couple of guys at the top, but after that, the depth scoring is a little bit more scarce. So I do like the Charlotte Checkers' opportunity and chance in this season if they can keep up the pace of play that they did against Hershey and Laval, simply because if you can't solve Shilovs and you can't make him uncomfortable, it's going to be very difficult to win this series.
All right. You talk about the Checkers' depth. So I want to bring this up. I know you and I have talked about this. I noticed, so with the let's just jump to the Panthers. I think in the playoffs so far, they have had like 18 players score a point, either a goal or an assist. You and I have talked before about the Checkers and their depth to the fact in the playoffs of, I don't think there are any Checkers players in the top 20 in scoring in the postseason.
No, there are not. And that just goes to show you how well this team is built and how well they are playing with each other and how well their chemistry has been going so far. I mean, when you look at Riley Bezo, had a huge series. He's a 4th-line guy. The series clinching goal was scored by Jesse Puljujarvi, who, yes, at the beginning of the season was in the NHL. And, a lot of teams probably thought he was a top-line AHL forward. He's not. He's playing on the 4th line with the Charlotte Checkers. He clinches the series for them. John Leonard has been strong. Justin Sordoff has been strong. in Game 3, the Checkers got a goal from each one of their lines, their forward groups. They got goals from Vilmanis, they got goals from Pugliarvi and Bizzo, they got goals from Leonard, and they got goals from Sortis. So it's a team that is moving. All of their pieces are moving in perfect synergy, and that's what you like to see. And that's why I'm saying when you go into this series against Abbotsford, if you don't have that synergy, or if there is any kind of lack of communication, you're going to struggle, because Shelovs will shut you down and get inside your head real quick.
All right, you brought up Justin Sordiff. This playoff series will be kind of like a homecoming from him. For him, he's actually from British Columbia, and I believe there is one of the players on Abbotsford that he played minor hockey with.
Yeah, absolutely. So for him, it's a little bit of a homecoming there, going back to British Columbia, which is a province that I don't think he's had the opportunity to really get back to since going pro, at least not to play hockey games there. I'm sure he goes there in the off season, but when you talk about his games played with Florida at the NHL level, they have not been against Vancouver back in his area. And when you talk about AHL games, obviously the Checkers have not gone out to British Columbia and the Abbotsford, Vancouver area either. So I don't think he's had the opportunity to play out that way in quite some time. So I'm sure he's really excited. And at the same time, when you look at a guy like Will Lockwood, who's a former Abbotsford Canuck himself, he was one of the original Abbotsford Canucks back when the franchise was started 4 seasons ago. It'll be a little bit of a homecoming for him as well. And there's a couple of injured Checkers that formerly played with Abbotsford, including Zach Dalphy and Aiden McDonough, especially with McDonough being in Abbotsford as recently as last season. So those guys, they'll definitely be traveling with the team. I doubt that they're going to play, but they'll at least be able to be there. And it is a little bit of a homecoming, or at least a familiar spot for some of the guys on the team.
All right, a couple other things. Let's talk about how the Panthers are in the Stanley Cup Finals and the Checkers are in the AHL Calder Cup Finals. I believe this is the first time this has happened in about 12 years, or no, longer than that. I believe it was 2008 with the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins and the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah, that's right. That was the last time that a AHL affiliate and NHL team had both made their respective finals. It's the first time, if both teams were to win, it would be the first time since 1995 that both teams have won their respective cups. So, of course, with Florida having a 2-1 series lead in that series and the Checkers kicking things off on Friday, that's what we're all hoping for, right?
That's right. And speaking of the last time that what I'm going to call is a double, right? There's a couple of ties with the Checkers to that long ago series.
Yeah, when you talk about the series that was 30 years ago in 1995, it was the New Jersey Devils who won the Stanley Cup, and it was their AHL affiliate, the Albany River Rats, who ultimately won the Calder Cup. Now, there's a connection right there, as the Charlotte Checkers franchise technically is the Albany River Rats. Once Michael Kahn purchased the Charlotte Checkers, or purchased the franchise that belonged to the Albany River Rats, he made the decision to move the team to Charlotte and revive the Charlotte Checkers name. That was back in 2010. So there's a connection there. You also have the connection of head coach Jordy Kinnear being on the Albany River Rats team that won the Calder Cup that season. He was a defenseman, wore number 4 on that team. So it's cool to see that. And on the NHL side, one of the players who hoisted the Stanley Cup as part of that run was a player named Tom Chorsky. Tom's son, Brett Chorsky, is now a rookie with the Charlotte Checkers. So there's another tie there.
So, guys, I want y'all to jump in here because y'all been to the game in Charlotte, and you know what the experience is like in a regular season game. Think about what's going to happen this weekend in the Calder Cup playoffs. I think there's very few tickets left.
Yep.
Let me hear it.
Well, I mean, when the 2 games that I've been to this year, obviously when we had our show down there earlier this year, and then Brian, me and Alexis went. Yes.
Right.
Was that the game that you wore the Hershey colors?
Yeah,
that's the one.
Hershey colors, not Hershey gear. The stadium wasn't admittedly packed, right? Like the arena itself wasn't packed. However, when the Checkers scored or something happened of any significance, someone gets slammed to the board, something, that place erupted. And if you close your eyes, you would have felt like it was full. I can only imagine what it's going to be like at this point where it's at capacity and you've got a championship on the line. It's going to be a raucous crowd. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
It's funny you bring that up too, because I'm sitting here with Justice, the engineer, who him and I can't tell you how much we had to tweak those volume levels because of how loud the crowd was getting during those big moments. It was insane.
It's a good problem.
And that was felt, to your point, through the broadcast as well. Watching it on Flow, just being able to see the fans that were standing up on their feet, their reaction to the game, and being a part of a Checkers game is such a fun experience throughout the regular season. Playoff hockey is so much more intense, and the Checkers have been the greatest sports team in Charlotte for many years now, and that's a fact. And so anytime you're down there at the Biscuit, it's a great time. TJ, as I was talking to you a little bit earlier today, this team is special. There's just something about that, and I feel like the fans, the locals, everybody knows that something is special about this team, and they're going to do great things. So I look for the Bowplex. The Biscuit is going to be rocking come Friday night.
You're gonna be butter on that biscuit.
All right. So, TJ, where can people listening get tickets?
If you want to get tickets, head to charlottecheckers.com. As you guys alluded to earlier, they are selling out real quick. I was looking for some tickets for friends and family earlier today, and boy, the pickings there were still some good seats still available, but they're getting slim there. So you don't want to waste any time. Head to charlottecheckers.com to get tickets. If you want to avoid the online fees, you can always give us a call, 704-342-4423. But you want to do that during normal business hours when someone's there in the office to go ahead and take your call. So charlottecheckers.com or 704-342-4423. And we're going to have a slew of locations to catch the game and listen, but mainly right here on WAME.
All right, one more. I know you've been a very busy man. Just give me your real quick take on the Panthers and Oilers so far. The Panthers dominated the game last night, ended up winning 6-1, and are now ahead 2-1.
I don't want to jinx them, but I see a very similar team to what I saw last year. I think this series is over.
Ooh.
Last year,
After what I saw last night, I don't disagree with them.
Yeah.
I mean, this is now Florida figuring out how to play, and they've unlocked the key, and they're just going to go out and do it again. And I don't think Edmonton has the firepower to battle back. It's completely a mental game now. You saw how Edmonton was breaking down and kind of having some temper tantrums and stuff like that. They are so focused on that stuff. They are not focused on playing the game of hockey, and Florida is. I really think Florida has jumped out. Yes, the series is 2-1, and Florida has a slight edge. In total, they have a massive edge.
Well, in that game last night, I feel like when the score got to be 3-1, after the when it was 2-0, Edmonton made it 2-1. I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. But then the Panthers scored a minute 20 later. I felt like after that goal, Edmonton gave up, and it was like, okay, this game's over. We can't win.
What did that look like to you? In my opinion, that looked like the Charlotte Checkers taking on the Laval Rocket in Game 1, Game 2, and Game 3. I know, most fans weren't in Canada for 1 and 2 to see it, but it was especially that Game 3, just when the Rockets thought that they were getting back in the game, a quick goal for the Checkers. It's like, oh, now they're only within 1. Oh, shoot, now they tied the game, and it's 2-2. And then all of a sudden it's a runaway, and your final score is 5-2. That's exactly what I saw, and there's a reason for that. The way these organizations are systematically designed and the way they train and practice, it's perfect. It runs deep.
Yeah, we kind of discussed that this morning about how the two teams are extremely similar, like extremely similar.
Yep.
Well, TJ, we thank you for your time, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the Biscuit, and then we'll also look forward to hearing you here on WAME.
Go ahead and get some rest, man. You deserve it after the last couple of days.
I can't tell you how much work I got to do, but we'll see you guys there this weekend. It's going to be a great time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
See you, TJ.
See ya.
Well, it was TJ Schlott running out of breath at the very end there, but like he says, got a lot of work to do, just like the Charlotte Checkers again in the Calder Cup Finals now, with a chance to get another championship, their first since 2019. So big time moves for the Checkers. Big matchup, obviously going on with the Stanley Cup Finals as well. Heard TJ say it there. He feels like the series is effectively over. I know Harry and I and Bryson actually all picked the Oilers to win. Brian on the opposite end did pick the Panthers.
It's looking like a good pick right now. But
it is looking like a good pick.
But we'll learn a lot about the Oilers in this next game.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna learn a lot. If they respond, this is absolutely a series. Absolutely.
If they got, because to be honest with you, I feel like they were also being very overly aggressive. And I was good grammar there, but I feel like they were being overly aggressive at the end of the game. Right, it felt like every 5 seconds
because it was getting
chippy. Exactly,
Oh, and then every whistle
chippy.
they were getting chippy.
But
every single whistle.
They spent most of the game getting pushed around and beaten up by
Right.
Florida.
So I'm wondering for them if they were like, you know what,
Enough.
beep it.
Yeah.
We're just gonna get all this out of our system now,
Right?
And we're gonna put our heads down and go to work.
Kind of like that first play in the longest yard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
well, the
Yep.
crazy thing is, so if you're Edmonton, you probably want to play tomorrow, not Thursday, because now you get to sit around for 2 days, and if you're sitting there thinking about, oh my God, like, man,
What happened? We got wrecked. We were
Yeah.
getting pushed around. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, but who knows? I will tell you, the scheduling for both the Stanley Cup this year and the NBA Finals has sucked.
Terrible.
Well, the only thing,
Sucked.
hey, but I'll tell you what I'm wondering about, like with the NHL, is I wonder if there was a concert or something scheduled for Florida that they couldn't get out of.
That
And that's
doesn't
why
that
there's an
doesn't that
extra
doesn't
day.
explain why there was 2 days between game 1 and 2 of the NBA Finals.
And,
Well, I'm
and
just
2 and
talking.
3.
I'm just talking to the NHL. And then the crazy thing about the NHL is the other. Let's see, they play Thursday. Then I don't think they play till Sunday. Monday's a travel day. There's only one travel day between
Mhm.
Florida and Miami.
Okay,
I mean,
correct.
from Florida and Edmonton on
Canada.
this next game. Yeah.
Canada, not
right.
Oklahoma City to Indianapolis.
So we
Florida
will-
to Canada.
Well, we will keep our eyes on that. The Oilers. I think I'm with Harry. We're going to learn a lot on Thursday about the Oilers.
Oh, 100%. Again, we're
Yeah.
either going to go into game 5 tied at 2, or the series ends in Edmonton in game 5.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, but speaking of Oklahoma City and Indianapolis, the NBA Finals have 2 games under their belt. Game 1 won by the Pacers. Game 2 won by the Thunder, and I believe Game 3 is tomorrow night.
Tomorrow.
Right? It's
Yep.
Wednesday in Indiana. So what's y'all's take so far on the first 2 games?
The first 3 quarters of game 1 and all 4 quarters of game 2 were more indicative of the series I think we're going to see going forward.
Well, exactly what we talked about this last week, and I said that if Indy steals game 1, I say I think they can win the series. And Mark made a point. He's like, if Indy steals game 1, Oklahoma City's going to do what Oklahoma City does and respond, and that's exactly what happened. Oklahoma City came out and just dominated, and like Mark said, outside of Indianapolis, the Pacers getting hot
Right.
at the end. I mean, I watched the last 10 minutes of that game 1,
Spamming
and they just
threes.
yeah. I mean, guys that had no business shooting and making threes were making threes. So it just, not to take anything away from them, and listen, OKC kind of let it happen as well. But I mean, what we saw was okay. Indy's not going down without a fight. Could have told you that already. They're not going to lay over for the Thunder. And what we saw in game 2 was the Thunder are definitely the better team.
Well, the big thing is, okay, so like in Game 1, the Pacers erased a 15-point fourth quarter deficit, but the Oklahoma did not get good games from Jalen Williams or Chet Holmgren in Game 1. But in Game 2 was just the opposite. They both played really well.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Jalen Williams did not play very well in game 2. Don't let the numbers fool you, because he was like 4 for 21 on field goal attempts. So don't
they
let
got
the numbers
more
fool you.
contributions from him in
Correct,
that game than
correct.
they did in Game 1.
Chet Holmgren is the most important player in the series now, because Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is going to get his. He's going to get his points. He's going to score. You're not going to stop him. Okay, that is a fact of the matter.
Right.
Chet Holmgren, however, is going to be the straw that stirs the drink at this point, because his presence allows Oklahoma City to move off of SGA every now and then. Of course, Williams will be there. You've got other guys throughout the roster that can contribute. We know this, right? Like Dort, other guys off the bench, and we saw it in
Caruso
game
scored
2.
20 off the bench in Game 2, and
Correct.
Wiggins scored 18.
Correct. So you've got guys, you've got depth, you've got pieces. But Chet Holmgren's got to be the guy within that starting lineup that takes some of that pressure off of SGA and allows him to work in space, because all that the ball stuck at the end of game 1, right, Harry? Like you and I were talking about it. End of game 1, right? Pacers starting to go around. They're getting hot. They're shooting all these threes. They're making all these threes. And for Oklahoma City, the ball just stuck. And they literally just looked at SGA. It was like, go do something every single time they went down the floor, instead of working the basketball, trying to find better shots. Game 2, they did that all night long. SGA still got his points. They dominate throughout the game. Everyone's more involved. Game flows better. That is when the Thunder take over. And you saw it the entire length of game 2. And I'll be completely honest with you, I think you're going to see it game 3 and 4. Because now they're going to be locked in, because they got punched in the mouth. They let one get away.
Right.
They're not going to let it happen again. So this is the reality, because the Pacers were bad in game 2. And the Pacers were getting rolled for most of game 1. So does it matter at the end of the day? No, the series is tied at 1. We're going back to Indianapolis, and the Pacers, their farmhouse is going to be rocking. But I said Kansas City. Good Lord, the dominance has been around too long. Oklahoma City, I think after game 2 is going to continue to have that dominance.
Well, so the thing is too, this is interesting. You're saying about the Pacers played very bad in game 2, not so much in game 1, right? Well, in game 1 they had 25 turnovers. They cut it down to 15 in game 2 and ended up losing.
Well, I think they had more turnovers than field goal makes in the first half of game 1.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah.
That's actually
yeah.
very bad. So you can't have that. That's part of what got them into the hole that they were in through certainly halftime, then going through the third as well. But again, they're able to find their way out. If you are Oklahoma City, the one thing you have to do is you got to make sure if you're going to end it, you got to end it in the third quarter, basically. Like you got to get ahead of it, because if the Pacers start to gain some momentum and get that steam,
That's all they've done all playoffs.
correct,
Yeah.
correct. It's the fourth quarter Pacers. Those have been the biggest bugaboo for every single team they have played. It was for Milwaukee, it was for Cleveland, and it was for New York, and they could not put them to bed.
So game 2, Thunder led by 6 after the first quarter, 18 at the half, and 19 at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah.
Dominant performance.
So they got ahead and stayed ahead and never really
Stayed ahead. They
never really looked
They
back.
did not let their foot off the gas pedal until the reserves were in, and even then, the reserves were hitting some shots.
Yeah.
So that's got to be what it is for Oklahoma City. Continue the dominance. Play like you know you can, and you've already now seen it, and they'll be just fine.
All right. We got anything else? We're done in 56 minutes, unless y'all have another topic you want
Good
to add.
Lord,
real
no, we
quick
got to
the
talk.
room.
I just want to say it's been a beautiful day.
We
75
finished early?
degrees in the A1 Pest Control Weather Center right now.
We don't finish early.
I'm watching the clock right there, 56 minutes, boys.
Mark, you want to do
All
a
right.
live rip?
No, we're not
No.
doing a live rip
All right,
on
hold
the
on,
radio.
I'll
That
do
makes
one.
no sense.
All right, boys. So listen, it's been a fun 56 minutes here on the
We're really going to
sports
do this.
recap.
We're-
Yeah, we
are
are
you
really
sure?
going to do it.
This
Tune
is
in
our
next week.
payback to
Don't-
Billy. We
hey,
have overused our time
Don't forget.
way too much.
Don't forget to go to the Biscuit this Friday. Puck
else we
drops
could
at
talk
7, and Sunday the puck drops at 4
Hold on. bro.
p.m. for the Calder Cup finals.
We haven't-
Charlotte Checkers against Abbotsford
college
Canucks.
NASCAR?
College football 26 coming out now. We got previews of that. Like we got there's sports stuff, bro. The Open Championship is this. No, the U.S. Open's this
U.S.
week.
Open.
NASCAR
Well,
is going to Mexico.
wait a minute.
Terrible
You
time.
had your opportunity. You already changed the outline one time. You
You're
should have added.
correct.
You should have added to it. So
And
don't be
where-
complaining
no,
about
no,
it.
Where were my peers
Uh-huh.
in my moment of need?
Uh-huh.
All right, I
You
got
didn't
something.
change it.
I got something for you. Hold on.
Buried his trusty phone. Last second, man.
Hold on. Yep.
Yeah.
Here are some notable
Yep.
examples of important sports events to happen on Father's Day.
On Father's Day.
Father's
Oh,
Day's
Father's Day.
weekend.
Okay, that's true.
Happy early
Sunday.
Father's Day to
Yep.
Brian.
That's
Like,
right.
yeah.
Brian.
You doing anything for Father's Day? Oh,
I'm
yes, you
going to the
are.
game.
Ah!
I actually kind of got in trouble for that.
What, for inviting me?
No, we were having a cookout that day, and of
Word.
course it was like, well, wait a
Word.
minute, you're gonna bail on the cookout? It's like it's my day, right?
Yeah, you were having a Father's Day cookout, but you were going to have to do everything, right?
I'm going to
And
the
yeah.
game, and
Yeah.
so the cookout I got saved because what was cool is
That's
Hannah
how-
couldn't come on
that's how it
Sunday,
works.
so the cookout got changed to
Oh.
Saturday, and now Hannah can be there.
So after the card show, I'm
So
going
cool,
up.
and I still got to
It worked
cook.
out. Yeah, see,
After the card show on Saturday, I'm going up to the cookout with
All right,
Brian.
yeah,
There
you
you
can come
go.
up there.
Anyway,
no
a
problem.
couple
We're
quick
having
sporting
wings.
events or
Wings.
sporting things that happened on Father's Day. Michael Jordan's fifth NBA title. On Father's Day '96, Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls clinched their fourth NBA championship, a significant accomplishment that was particularly meaningful given the holiday. Pat Cash's Wimbledon victory in 1987 climbed through the crowd to embrace his father on Father's Day. Nolan Arenado's walk-off cycle. In 2017, Nolan Arenado hit a walk-off cycle on Father's Day, giving his dad a special and historic gift in a game that the Rockies won.
I forgot all about
I did
that.
too,
That was
honestly.
Go
sick.
cycling.
Yeah.
And then,
on Father's Day, and you walked it off.
Yeah.
let's see here. Tiger
Oh.
Woods wins first Masters '97, where he embraced his father
Yeah.
and his hug with his son at Augusta. So yeah, a couple big things that happened on Father's Day. Those are some of the more, I guess, prominent things to happen. But it is Father's Day, and we do wish a happy Father's Day to all of the dads, whether you're four-legged children or you have two-legged children, and if unfortunately you have a one-legged child. You know, we wish you all a happy Father's Day, a safe Father's Day. Enjoy it. Spend time with the ones you love. And until next week, the Sports Recap Show.
It's been
is
a fun
adjourned.
59 minutes, Harry.
Oh, we got
We'll
20
be back
seconds.
next. We'll
Hey,
be back next
NASCAR's
week
going to
at-
Mexico.
We'll be back next week. We'll be back next week at 7 p.m.
Gasolina.
Love you, Dad.
Mm.
Real Country is 550 AM WAME, 92.9 W225BD, Statesville.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters.